Yes, you guys, and how are all of you doing tonight? I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lions TV, and today I'm bringing back another News Daily video. Now for today's video, I'll be focusing on the latest reports surrounding Cavani and the club. I'll be talking about the latest surrounding Boubacar Soumari from Lille. I'll be talking about Danny Drinkwater's future, and of course, I'll be confirming our FA Cup opponents in the next round. But before I get into any of that, if you do like today's video, smash that like button. And when I say smash the like button, I say this because I want to gauge a response from you guys. I want to get a better understanding of videos that you guys like and what you don't like. You know, likes don't really do anything in regards to getting views. It's not what it's about. It's about the interaction between you guys and the videos. So use that like button or the dislike button if you feel something from a video. But you guys, on that note, we start with the first story for today, and I'm going to get our next FA Cup opponents out of the way first. You guys, we will be playing against Hull City away from home, and they are going to be our next opponents in the FA Cup. Now, when we tend to play against Hull City, we tend to get some very decent results against them. Hopefully, this is another opportunity to see more young players getting game time, because that's the most important thing. We have so much class at this club. A lot of young players have been performing very well this season for the academy teams and the under-23s, so if they can get that odd game time in the first team, that's really going to help them. I'd like to see more Lamptey. I'd like to see Guy getting more opportunities. I'd like to see Gilmore and Andrew in as well, and hopefully when we play against Hull at the end of the month, we're going to see more opportunities for rotation to see young players in the team. But anyway, we move on to the second story for today, and it's a pretty big story. That's in regards to Edison Cavani and Chelsea links. Now, this is not the first time that we've been linked with Cavani. This story tends to happen every single season when you think about it, but currently at this point in time, Cavani has 6 months left on his deal. 6 months left, and contrary to earlier reports suggesting that Atletico Madrid have already signed a pre-contract agreement with the player, well, it's looking like that deal isn't necessarily the case anymore. And because of that, it's given an opportunity to clubs from England to talk to the player. And all these reports, you guys, are coming out from France. They are coming from Ligue, and they're even saying that us and Man United have actively held talks with the player to persuade him to sign for us in this next window. Now, you guys remember that if we did sign Cavani in this window, we would have to pay a fee to sign the player. Now, of course, with holding talks with the player because he does have 6 months left on his contract, that would mean that we'd sign the player for nothing for the next window. But we all know that we do need quality replacement for Tammy. I don't think it's fair for Tammy and for his development if he was constantly playing week in, week out. And I can see why Lampard does want to get a better partner for Tammy Abraham and for the team. And with reports stating that the club don't want to sign just anyone. They want to sign the right players that are going to help improve this team. Well, signing a player like Edison Cavani probably makes even more sense. Now, immediately, I get those same vibes that we got in the 17-18 season when we signed Janaury in this window, and at the time it made a lot of sense. You know, Janaury was older, more experienced. He was not going to block any pathways in the team for young players, and most importantly, the finances behind the deal really worked in our favour because Janaury barely cost us anything. And in those regards, our links with Cavani are a bit similar, and it's really bringing back those memories. But anyway, let's focus on Edison Cavani right now, you guys. And for me, this deal would make a lot of sense. This would be very intelligent. It would be the best possible deal we could do in this window because Cavani not only is one of the best strikers in the world, incredible finisher, he complements the team tactically, and that's an important thing. You know, in the January window right now, it's very hard to find a lot of players available because clubs obviously don't want to sell in this period. However, you guys, with Edison Cavani, we know that Paris Saint-Germain already have a successor to the striker, Mauro Icardi. Cavani is barely going to cost any money at all. And I think the most important thing too is that Tammy Abraham then gets a mentor. That plays a significant role in the development of young players. I think when you're playing with a lot of experienced senior players that have been there, that have done that know what it takes to get to the level, well, they can pass some of their judgment, some of their wisdom, some of the things and experiences they've learned along the way to younger players. And we have heard of younger players really benefiting from this type of mentorship experiences with teammates. So with Cavani coming in to be that mentor to Tammy Abraham, Tammy is definitely getting an education. I'll give you guys a completely brief example. I remember when we first signed Michael Ballack, and he's the only player I've seen win the ball in his very own unique way. And Michael Ballack wins his aerial balls by coming in on his sides, using his shoulder to obviously get that physical advantage against his man. Once he brushes him out the way, very easy to head the ball. And when Ballack came, I noticed that I saw Drogba doing that. I saw Lampard doing that. And it felt like a lot of the players had really benefited and learned from, Ballack's unique take on their game. And, this is what it's about at this level. This is what it's about in football. I think Edison Cavani fulfills the short-term needs and he doesn't block any pathways for the long term. The only thing that could scupper the deal could be how much money Cavani wants. But I think for a player of his abilities, of his standards, and I think the fact that we're not spending really any money when it comes to signing the player with a transfer fee, that money would be worth it in the short term. We cannot afford to miss out on Champions League football. If we do, it's going to affect the business we do in the next window. Cavani could come in, he could be that worthwhile short-term investment this team needs. And for the comment section below, give me your thoughts and opinions. Would you like to see Cavani coming here? Do you feel he's the right short-term signing this club needs right now? If so, state why, and if not, state your replacement for Cavani. But anyway, you guys, we move on to the third story for today, and that's in regards to a very young, exciting, promising French talent that comes from Lille. We played against him only a few weeks ago, you guys. He put in a very good performance against us. His name goes by Boubacar Soumari, and reports from Sky Sports today are suggesting that Arsenal, Man United and us are all after the young 20-year-old from Lille. Now, the only surprising thing to me was that Lille are actually open to selling the player in this window. Now, it does make sense, from a club of Lille's stature and size, it's their business plan to sell young players like this and flip them. So that's what they're about. I'm a bit surprised that they're doing it at a point in this period of the season, but it does make sense. Lille needs to sell players. Osimhen, the young Nigerian forward that's doing very well for them in Ligue 1, it seems like they feel like they can command more money for the player in the summer to get those transfer bids coming in. But with Soumare, it feels like Lille can profit on the player right now. And if anything, this really is a great testament to Luis Campos and his ability to spot players and find them, because Soumare only 2 years ago was signed on a free contract, and right now it seems like he can command bids of more than 30 to 35 million euros. So, the vision this guy has is literally second to none. Now, Soumare has interest from clubs all across Europe, with Real Madrid in particular really paying close attention to the player. That's because they were linked with signing Ndombele in this window. Instead, Ndombele did decide to sign for Tottenham, but Soumare and Ndombele are quite similar in terms of their game, their style, and how they play on the fields. Now, who exactly is Boubacar Soumari? A lot of people are suggesting that he is a successor to Paul Pogba. He is the new Paul Pogba. For me, I feel this is quite lazy, and the reason why I feel like he is getting this moniker is because he's part of a new generation of midfield players that can really do everything in midfield. Soumare can play a key pass, he can be very press resistant, he can progress the ball, he can play people in, he does win his 50-50s, he doesn't get easily dispossessed, he has a lot of qualities. And I think, for a club like us, if we're looking at a young 20-year-old like that, basically that means that Soumare can be molded into any type of player, any type of role the manager wants. And that's because of his potential. He does so many good things at a really good level for his age that with more development, with more time, and as he fulfills his potential, he really could become a pretty special player. Now, we know that the midfield will be revamped probably in the summer. Lampard isn't too impressed with Ross Barkley, and I feel like Lampard wants a real strong option to play in the pivot in this team. Sometimes I think, is Jorginho going to be here long term in the future? I'm not too sure. Let's say that Juventus really made a big bid to sign the player. I feel like we would sell him in the right circumstances. With a player like Jorginho, his departure comes down to whether the club's happy with the fee received. And in that regards, I feel like we don't have to worry too much about Jorginho leaving. But I think this is testament to how the club is constantly thinking towards the future, thinking towards the long term, and just thinking along those lines, you guys. It has got me thinking, could this potentially be a battle between Sander Berg and Boubacar Soumari, because both players kind of play in that pivot in midfield. You know, it feels like Lampard does want a young successor in that role. Could he be a replacement to Ross Barkley? Is he a future-proof replacement to N'Golo Kante? These are the possibilities that we can have by signing these young, high-potential players really early. As I said, when he played against us not too long ago for Lille, I thought he was really impressive. He was easily Lille's best player by far, and just how he was able to help progress the ball from defence into attack, how he was able to hold people off, doing decisive things as well and showing quality. You know, players like this are players that really take a lot of interest and attention for very good reason, you guys. And in the comment section below, and you guys, I'm going to pose this question for you in the comment section. Out of Sunderberg or Boubacar Soumari, who do you prefer us to sign? Now make sure you guys vote, and obviously you will find the vote somewhere in the card above. Now we end things with the final story for today, and this is in regards to Danny Drinkwater. Now if you guys don't know, Burnley have terminated his loan, and it really isn't too much of a surprise. Danny Drinkwater has been of a bit of a Mazza recently. We saw his controversies in the press, and you know, at the time I was kind of sympathizing a bit with Danny Drinkwater because, you know, I understand that if you're not playing and you're a footballer where you feel like your worth only comes from your ability to kick a ball, and if you're not playing, if you're not doing what you've been conditioned to do since you were a kid, how are you going to feel that mental peace? You know, it's not going to come. So I can understand that if you're feeling pretty down and you have a lot of money already, you can make a lot of stupid decisions. So in that regards, I'm not going to hold it against him too much. We're only human beings. But the positive news is it seems like that hasn't put off any clubs in the Premier League. Thank God for that. It seems like Aston Villa are the ones looking at signing Drinkwater on loan. Now the issue is that Villa do not want to pay the full 100,000 per week for Drinkwater. It seems absolutely crazy that we gave him such a big contract like this in the first place. Sometimes something like the long-term planning from the club was so poor back in the day. But I feel like we can still find the intelligent solution. For me, I would just reduce and subsidize his wages, and by doing that, I would insert clauses in his contract to guarantee that Aston Villa were going to sign the player at the end of the season. But anyway, you guys, hopefully Drinkwater goes. That's only going to give us more money to spend in the summer if that does happen, you guys. But on that note, I'm going to wrap things up and I'm going to keep things moving. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. I'm Nini FC, the Blue Lions CV. See you guys in a bit.